Badgers obviously losing to Nebraska. Never a good one for them. Obviously, on paper, Nebraska being the better team, but you never know at the Fieldhouse. The Badgers were number 5 last year. Nebraska was number 1 at the Fieldhouse. The Badgers swept them, so you never know what could happen, but they did lose. Iowa, they've got a big game against Northwestern on Sunday. Try and break that record, break that losing streak. We'll see what they can do here tonight first.
Exactly, and the Badgers looking to prepare for Penn State for tomorrow, where that will be a pretty big matchup where Iowa was able to get a set off of them in their previous matchup against Penn State.
Well, here we go. Charlie Furbringer, the freshman setter, to start things off for Wisconsin with the serve. And a block right off the bat. Anna Smrek, CC Crawford combined.
That is something that Iowa has to be so careful of tonight. I mean, the Badgers do a really strong job with their blocks, and we were able to see that right off the bat, Aiden.
Absolutely. And Furbringer again from the line for Wisconsin. Badgers lead 1-0. Kept alive there by Furbringer. Help from Schumacher. Great dig there by Gallus. Franklin keeps that one up. Will hit one again. Gets the kill. Long rally. Franklin ends it.
It's Aiden. Joy Gallus, what a dig there. She's a senior libero. She's currently the second in the Big Ten for digs and has been a huge asset for the Iowa Hawkeyes so far this season.
Absolutely. Has that experience. Used to play in Arizona before transferring to Iowa. Badgers lead 2-0. Furbringer couldn't control that one. Iowa answers back.
It will be really important tonight, Aiden, for Iowa not to let the Badgers get on too much of a scoring streak. The Badgers do really well in that aspect when they start to score a lot. It is important to try and keep everyone kind of not to get into that mojo of the scoring.
Badgers looking for a response. Help from the net keeps it alive for Iowa. Blocked again. Anna Smrek. They tried that outside one again for Urquhart, but it was Anna Smrek who got her hands on the ball.
Aiden, it's always so fun in volleyball to see the bench get so interactive with the points. That's something I always enjoy when coming to the field house.
Absolutely. Sarah Franklin now serves for Wisconsin. Smrek got blocked, kept up by Franklin. Another big block there in the middle by Whittingshall. And a big miscommunication there between Gallus and Garcia, and the Badgers get the point.
CC Crawford really went for a kill there, and it was blocked, but then she was able to just get her hand on that perfectly to keep that point alive for the Badgers, which ultimately led to their point.
Franklin again. Back set just out. Garcia tried it. Good eye there from the Badgers.
That was the first real good opportunity from the Hawkeyes tonight, looking for a strong kill. I mean, Garcia has been such a powerhouse for the Hawkeyes. Being just a freshman, she has really done a lot.
It looks like they're going to take a look at this now. So there were some differing opinions from the linesman, whether it got a touch or not.
Yeah, Garcia currently leads the Hawkeyes in kills with 220 kills, which is a good chunk more than the next following Hawkeye with Let's Back On.
I can't imagine they're going to stay like that, but you never know. Here's the call. It was out. Badgers get the point. They lead 5-1. And Sarah Franklin in a moment will return to the service line and get ready to serve.
Sarah Franklin serving into the sea of swimmers.
Barely kept up. Nice dig from Franklin alternatively. And slammed into the corner by Yulia Orgel.
Aiden, it's hard not to be distracted by the student section at this moment. We are not showing it frequently, but you got all of them doing the dive motion, but a great start for the Badgers.
And Franklin again. Good response there. Malu Garcia brings it back for Iowa.
Exactly, getting that revenge with that point. She has been such a dominant force being a freshman, and I think has played a large role for the Hawkeyes' success that they have had this season.
And now here she is from the line. Tries the floater. Read well by Franklin and tipped down by Orzel. Badgers get it right back.
And Aiden, if you look back to the Badger sideline and the bench, they are still doing some fun celebrations, which is always good to see. And a strong lead so far, 7-2 for your Wisconsin Badgers.
Yeah, they always keep the energy on the bench, even when they are losing. That's one of the more important things, especially for volleyball. The bench can really make a difference. Crawford from the line. The slide wasn't perfect, but they'll take the point. Hannah Whittingstall with the kill. She even looked at her teammates saying, all right, my bad, but got the point nonetheless.
Exactly. I mean, when you look at her, she's from San Antonio, Texas, which is really unique, Aiden. You've got quite a few Texas natives on this team, which you might necessarily not expect, or I certainly didn't.
Hard serve from Urquhart. Miscommunication there between Furbringer and Robinson, and an easy one for the Hawkeyes.
The Hawkeyes starting to get in a little bit of a groove here, Aiden, and kind of picking out the Badgers' weaknesses and able to get a few of these perhaps miss, which is quite incredible. And I mean, maybe she'll be able to do the same tonight if it goes into more than 3 sets, or even if it doesn't.
From the back rows, Garcia. There's a nice dig from Anderson. Setter to setter. The tip, perfect. What a tip there by Malu Garcia.
Aiden, I think Garcia does a great job of looking for that perfect time when she goes for the kill. First, when she looks, she really had the snake eyes going for her. She looked like she was going to go the kill down the middle, and then just did such a soft touch out to the side, and the Badgers definitely weren't expecting that.
Yeah, she timed it perfectly, as there's a good response by Devin Robinson, who gets another kill. But back to Garcia, even on her serves, when she sent that floater earlier over the net, it looks like she's just going to smash it, but at the last second switches up. She's so good at doing that.
Yeah, she is a hard player to read indeed. I mean, never know what she's going to do, and picks it out at the perfect time, it seems to be.
Orzel, that serve grazed the net, but kept alive. Garcia into the net.
And the Wisconsin Badgers will take an 11-6 lead. It was really close for a second there, Aiden, within 3 points of one another, and Hawkeyes kind of got in a groove, but the Badgers have seemed to reclaim that after a few errors from the Hawkeyes.
Anderson, Furbringer, Franklin, kept alive. Pushes it out to Franklin again. Another great dig by Garcia. Second consecutive. Garcia again off the block. And that one goes long. A mistake there by Urquhart. But a couple of great digs keeping things alive for Iowa for Malu Garcia.
Definitely, Garcia has been such a key player just within the first few minutes of this game. Definitely has been a backbone for this team and such a leader just as a freshman.
Blocked by Robinson. Trying it there was Gracie Gibson. Has a kill already, but got blocked that time.
Aiden, what do you think is going on in this Iowa Hawkeye huddle that is now going to be a timeout? What do you think Iowa coach is saying there? And Jim Barnes is kind of trying to give a...
And welcome back. Orzel at the line after an Iowa timeout. Trying to extend the lead for the Badgers. Iowa need a big response. Garcia from the back row gets blocked, kept alive at the front. And Iowa get it back, and it was Garcia that set that one up. She's setting, she's digging, she's hitting. She's been Iowa's best player in this early match so far. And just to go back to what you were saying, Kate, about what they should have talked about in the timeout, I mean, before that they were hitting -130, and that's something they need to fix. Maybe not smashing it down every single time, getting some good tips. We saw Garcia do that a couple of times. Ways to get around the Wisconsin block.
Yeah, really switching it up and trying to get a few kills, whether that be hard or soft, and I think they're doing a good job of that, but just need to keep the consistency.
As we see them get blocked twice here from the Badgers. There's the tip, but it's read well by Franklin. Off the block, kept alive. Nice dive there and sent over by Gallus. And the dump from Furbringer.
Man, that is the stuff you do not see coming. Furbringer did a great job of reading that there had been a lot of back and forth there, Aiden, but perfectly just hits it perfectly quite over the net and just looks one way and realizes that there's no one in the middle, quite ready to block.
She may not have eyes in the back of her head, but she certainly got some eyes on the side of her head, and she could see that there was an open lane. That is a setter's dream. We get a whistle. I think, is that a foot fault? Nope. Rotation mistake against Iowa. That is something that cannot happen at this level.
I was going to say it, and yeah, that is, you absolutely cannot afford those silly mistakes, specifically in this area. I mean, having a rotation mistake, that should be the last thing to happen for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Taking a swing was Crawford. That one goes all the way up to the video board. And that one was hit long by Dominique Fills.
It is now 7-16, Aiden. The Badgers heightening their lead, able to get closer to closing this set out and doubling the amount of points for the Hawkeyes.
And again, it's Lola Schumacher for her third serve. Nice setup, nice kill. Sent down by Gibson. On the same page as her setter there.
Yeah, it'll be really important for the Hawkeyes to get into a positive hitting percentage. It does not help anyone when you are in the negatives, but they have done a really fabulous job with their digs, having 12 so far this set.
And here come the Hawkeyes trying to claw back. Furbringer tries to dump again, and it works again. Off the fingertips of Meitzler and hits the floor.
Yeah, definitely. She has done a great job reading that, and it's consistently worked. So 2 times it happens, that makes sense, but the Hawkeyes absolutely cannot let that happen a third time because it has been such a great source of points for her.
Furbringer again. Back at the top for the Badgers. Nice dig. Pinballs off a couple of Badgers and stays alive. Great dig from Furbringer. Playing some defense. Swung down by Garcia, who gets the kill.
Wow, that was perfect placement again. Furbringer almost just had it there, diving to get it off one arm, but just not getting the height and kind of deflecting off pretty close to the ground. So no Badgers were able to act on that.
Joy Gallus with the serve. It goes off of Schumacher and into the crowd. It's an ace.
All right, 10-17. The Hawkeyes trail the Wisconsin Badgers.
That's number 21 for service aces this season for Gallus. Leads the Hawkeyes. Blocked. Did it stay in? Yes, it did. Stacey Crawford right at the net.
Aiden, the Hawkeyes have been preparing for this matchup for a long time. They've had a tough season so far, playing some top teams, but when talking to Coach Jim Barnes, he talked about the importance of training hard and not just trying to perform, but doing it every single day. And kind of, if you practice that, it'll come into fruition, but they are having trouble with that right now.
And of course, they've had a tough schedule already. They have a tough schedule coming up as Orzel reaches into the scorer's table to keep that alive. Gets hands on the block, but Schumacher's not able to dive and keep it in. Iowa takes it. They're now down 7.
All right, Aiden, we are back with Garcia on the line. How did the Badgers manage to put a stop to Garcia? Do they just keep doing what they're doing and continue with the lead? But she's been the majority of their points in the powerhouse behind this Iowa team.
Yeah, she's so unpredictable with her serves. That one slammed down by Smrek. That's a way to stop her. Big answer there for Wisconsin. And now it brings in Sage Damrow, another player who doesn't see the floor all too often. Is the redshirt freshman. Has been going to Badger camp since she was 7 years old. Has known Kelly Sheffield for a very long time. Was out last season with an injury. Here she is now. Good eye there from the Badgers.
Just a little bit too much mustard there on that one from the Hawkeyes, but right idea, getting those kills. Just, I think we've seen a number of those just go a little bit too long tonight, and the Badgers have been keeping a good eye on them.
Damrow again. Badgers need 5. Tries the floater. Nicely dug out there by Gallus. Franklin is diving to keep it in. Sent over by Smrek. Garcia from the back row. Damrow dug it up. And there's a kill from Smrek. And Sarah Franklin, who kept that ball alive about 20 feet out of play. And it forces a timeout to be called by Jim Barnes in Iowa.
What a fabulous play by the Badgers, Aiden. Sarah Franklin, not many other players in this league would be able to do that.
We'll be right back. And welcome back. The Badgers lead this first set by a score of 21-11. Iowa have come close a few times in this set, but Wisconsin seemed to be running away with it here. Sage Damrow to serve again, the redshirt freshman. Badger since birth. Kept up by Garcia. Gets it again in the back row. Mishit that one, it goes long.
Right idea from the Hawkeyes coming off of a timeout. But again, Aiden, we return back to that same issues that the Hawkeyes have been seeing, just hitting it past that line and hitting it into the red, where there's been numerous unforced errors like that.
And Garcia is not normally the player to do it. Here's Damrow. The back set kept alive. Smrek tried to grab it. They couldn't do it. And that ends the Badgers' 4-0 scoring run there.
And the Hawkeyes now trail by 10, and there will be a small substitution coming in with Dominique Phils. Tied for kills with both 11 kills, and the Hawkeyes doing a good job of trying to attack this ball.
Whittingstall again, trying to keep things going for Iowa. Nice tip there by Robinson. Hawkeyes weren't ready. And now it's set point for the Badgers.
And the field house is on their feet. Exciting, an exciting atmosphere here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yulia Orgel trying to end set number 1. Blocked but kept alive. Free ball coming for the Badgers. Here is Robinson, kept alive by Garcia. Fills, it goes long. Badgers win set number 1.
Alrighty, Aiden, that is what we talked about. That's exactly what they were doing to close out the set. They thought they were going to paint that white line at the back with a kill, but again, that's just not seeming quite possible. I think it is important for the Hawkeyes to try and readjust this.
And welcome back inside the UW Fieldhouse here in Madison, Wisconsin. Aiden Michaels alongside Kate McGran. The Badgers won the first set 25-15, and here we are ready to begin set number 2. Jamie Marquardt to serve for Iowa to start things off. Didn't see much of her in the first set. Here she is now in the second. And picking up right where they left off, Anna Smrek starts things off here in set number 2.
Aiden, when talking to Jim Barnes, he mentioned that the Hawkeyes haven't had the same lineup since week 2. They're consistently looking to change things up, adapting and having players earn that spot in the starting lineup, and we can see that now with players adjusting and really earning their spot.
Absolutely. And they have to do that when they're playing against so many great teams. They like to switch things up, and it's worked a little bit, unfortunately not in the last several weeks, but they have time to change things up before the end of the season. As they tie things up here, and back to serve is Joy Gallus. Smrek gets the kill, another one for the Badgers, and the Badgers now have 13 on the night. Iowa just behind them with 11 in that first set. It was 11-12. The Badgers had 12, Iowa had 11. In fact, 11 of the 15 points Iowa had were from kills.
Yeah, the Hawkeyes did a really good job of that, Aiden, and that's not accounting for so many of the kills that were right idea, right timing, just a little bit wide or a little bit far out.
And an ace there. Great response for Wisconsin, catching Iowa off guard. And it was the errors, like one there, it was the errors for Iowa. They're hitting in the negatives right now and hitting the negatives in set number 1. And that's what it was. They were right there with the Badgers in kills, but all the errors led to the Badgers winning by 10 points. Great response, great placement there from Michelle Urquhart.
That is what the Hawkeyes needed, Aiden. Yeah, you mentioned the errors. The errors were so prominent from the Hawkeyes in the first set. I mean, they had 12 errors compared to the Badgers just 3, and so that was really the difference maker there in the first set. The Badgers were able to limit those errors and stay a bit more consistent.
The floater again there from Garcia, but just hit the top of the net. Didn't quite work out. Badgers get the point. And coming in again is Sage Damrow.
Aiden, it's fun to see some of these Badger and Hawkeye players getting some movement in, so seeing a variety of players on both sides that aren't necessarily the starting core.
Thinking about rest also for tomorrow's game against Penn State.
Exactly.
Kept up, two-handed by Damrow. The tip, perfect. What a tip. The placement was amazing.
Exactly, Aiden. I thought that was going for a kill. Perfectly popped up and just realized that Robinson and Orzel were coming straight up to block and just poked it over, and it was a pretty perfect kill, and they didn't have enough time to respond. So great idea on the Hawkeyes' part.
And a hard serve by Urquhart kept alive. There's the tip from Robinson. Nice response there by Warden. Orzel gets blocked. Whittingstall, who just had the kill for Iowa, follows that up with an amazing block.
And it is 4-4, Aiden. It is an exciting atmosphere here at the Fieldhouse, but you see the Hawkeye fans in the stands, even that rhymed, which was kind of fun, but not making a lot of action compared to the Badger fans, which the Hawkeyes are doing well this set. They should be celebrating.
Nice dig there by Garcia, who's going to get it back. Franklin from the back row again gets the kill. Sends it by Gallus, and the Badgers regain the lead.
Just a small margin, though. Lots of area for the Hawkeyes to improve in. I will be interested to see if we will see Garcia going for those kills again and really just trying to shorten them up.
And they're already hitting a positive hitting percentage for the first time tonight. That one goes into the net there by Alyssa Warden.
And their errors bump up to 13, but Aiden, it's also interesting to see the attack numbers differ from one another, with the Hawkeyes being at 57 so far in the first 2 sets.
Into the net from Orzel. Says my bad, but Iowa clawing back again. And now in this very young second set, Iowa's best player, Hannah Whittingstall, to serve. Had a great tipping kill, followed by a tough block. Sends one over from the line. Franklin through the block, gets a kill.
Whittingstall is another Texas native, which is kind of fun, but the Hawkeyes are a really young team, Aiden. I mean, they have 11 new players and just 7 returners coming back to them so far this year.
Yeah, and playing her freshman year, Whittingstall at SMU, coming to the Big Ten for her sophomore year. There's a dump, and it could not be kept up by Schumacher. Jenna Meitzler with the kill. And the Hawkeyes within 1 again.
Exactly. You see the Hawkeyes getting their points from their kills, but Aiden, they've had tremendous success with those dumps, and somehow they seem to continuously work. There's only been a handful that haven't, so catching the Badgers off guard and really preparing well for that.
Sarah Franklin off the chest there of Urquhart. Franklin again, something got the net, it was a Hawkeye. Badgers get the point.
Like we were talking about earlier, Aiden, The refs have such a good eye where I had no idea that something was even happening. It's hard to keep an eye on stuff from our angle up here, but it's always interesting to see from a lower angle.
And now Charlie Furbringer. Tipped over, kept alive by Franklin.
They tried the dump right back.
Warden up by Schumacher. Franklin, it's tight off the block, kept alive there by Meitzler. Franklin with the kill, and it's Cece Crawford, the middle blocker, setting that one up. And we've seen her play a few games as a setter when Furbringer went down with an injury earlier in the season. Sets one up there perfectly.
Exactly, that was a great back and forth, Aiden. We saw a dump to a dump and some back and forth in between, but ultimately a great kill from Sarah.
And Furbringer again. Sent down by Garcia, just missed the line.
Gosh, Aiden, all of Garcia's are so close. I mean, we've seen most of them go long, but she's taking some risk with going a little bit wide, which I think might be a good idea. She's slimming the margins with how far she is out if her kills are out, but I think that is important for the Hawkeyes.
As Furbringer goes into the net, she spends a lot of time on that service line before she sends it over. She closes her eyes and really gets in the zone, and she can really hit them. Obviously a mistake there, but very rare for her to do something like that. The slide, Crawford, nice block, kept up by Urquhart. Garcia into open space, couldn't be kept alive. Orzel and Schumacher were diving, nobody could send it over.
The Hawkeyes trailing just by 2 now in the second set. 4 blocks so far this set compared to the Badgers' 5, so pretty evenly matched first part of the second set, I would say so, Aiden.
And I think Iowa were that close to taking a timeout when they were down 10-6, but it's 2 straight points now, and it's much closer than it was. Garcia pushes it. The quick one there from Anna Smrek, and the Badgers extend the lead. 11-8 now here in the second set. And Warden will come out.
That was Smrek's 6th kill of the night, so a great night for her so far, and pretty great season for her as well.
She keeps going. Response off the net, kept alive by Furbringer, and sent over by Orzel with the kill.
Perfectly caught a Hawkeye under the arm. Sometimes it just catches that on the wrong side, but yeah, Badgers now heightening that lead by 4.
Franklin again. Off the net, and it'll be a kill. Michelle Urquhart again. The 6 foot outside for Iowa.
Aiden, I would be intrigued to see if the Hawkeyes go a little bit back more to their dump method, or if they seem that they've kind of used it enough so far this set and think that the Badgers have a pretty good read on it, or if they will. And she will now take the lead 4 kills tonight before tapping out and getting subbed in by, I believe that is number 3 for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Sage Damrow back in it.
Exactly, she's back.
Seen more of her tonight than we have in the last few games. And it's still in the second set. Here she is from the line. Urquhart with the kill. Squeezes it by Damrow and into the corner. And she's heating up now. We didn't see a lot of her in the first set, but she's been very, very good. Not a lot of mistakes here in the second set for Urquhart.
Exactly. I saw her warming up before, and I was pretty amazed with how well she was doing in warm-ups. Didn't necessarily see as much of her in the first set executing, but we're back in the second set, and she's making sure to put those Hawkeyes in a winning position.
And a hard serve as well there from Urquhart. The back set, the lefty push into the corner by Jenna Meitzler. Excuse me.
And Aiden, just like we mentioned prior, they're switching up how they get points. You can normally count on the Badgers to get their points through their kills with some really strong outside hitters, but the Hawkeyes really kind of looking for all their ways just besides the kills from Garcia to get their points on the board.
Yeah, and I have to say I stuttered on that one because that's usually a Whittingstall move, but Meitzler, the setter, sending one into the corner. Perfect placement from her. Badgers look for a response, kept up by Gallus into the back row, and getting the kill was Malu Garcia. And how things have turned here.
Yeah, exactly. You saw a pretty fun dance there from Joy Gallus, kind of very excited about the tie of 14-14 in the second set. Let's see if the Hawkeyes can pull ahead and get their first lead of the night.
From the line is Urquhart. The floater kept alive by Schumacher. Tip from Robinson gets the kill, and it's a frustration, point of frustration there for Iowa, and now take a timeout now, immediate timeout. 15-14 the Badgers lead, and we're back after that media timeout. Badgers lead this second set narrowly. That one goes into the net. Could it be kept alive? No, it pinballs off a couple of Hawkeyes, but stays on their side. Badgers have a 2-point lead now, 16-14.
A little bit, yeah, back and forth. I like the term pinball. I don't use that enough, but it is exactly what it seems like, just hitting off players, not necessarily on their hands either.
Orgel just missed the hands there of Whittingstall. Over the block, kept alive by Garcia. Franklin, straight down for the Badgers. And she has been unbelievable. Obviously coming off of being the National Player of the Year, has been Wisconsin's best player, the nation's best player, I would argue this season as well. But
agreed, Aiden. She has led this team, being a captain, and it is her. She is currently a fifth year from Florida, which is pretty interesting to see here in the Big Ten, but has certainly made her mark here at Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I can say that there's a lot of frustration from Michigan State fans. How on earth did they let her go?
Yeah, that'll be interesting when Wisconsin travels to Michigan State at the end of this month. Exactly. When you let a player like Sarah Franklin go, you don't stop kicking yourself for a while, especially if the Badgers will make a good run in the postseason. And
it looks like we may get a challenge here. Jim Barnes is talking to one of the officials as Orgel waits patiently. And now Alyssa Warden as well is telling her coach that she wants a challenge, and they'll get one here. They're challenging the touch. And this is a big swinger as well. Right now it's 18-14. It would make it 17-15. Obviously a much closer game, especially in the second set, which when you're playing against teams like Wisconsin, Bill finally gets to serve. Had an error her last time at the line. Gets an ace this time. And they tried to ice her, but it didn't work. Badgers lead 19-14.
Yeah, she has had a great night so far, Aiden. I mean, she's continuously behind that line having success, and she's back again, and let's see if she can get another ace.
Orgel again. You could expect maybe a timeout to come from Iowa if they don't get this point. Franklin with the roll. The dump didn't work. Here's Robinson, kept alive, back on the Badgers side. Now it's Franklin off the block and into the crowd. Another kill.
Aiden, we have not seen Garcia been as active with those kills recently, and we'll go to a timeout, and maybe after the timeout we will see her being a little bit more.
And we're back after that timeout. At one point, it was 14-14, and now the Badgers have a 20-14 lead. It's unfortunate for Iowa because they were trying so hard in this second set. As that one does not hit the line, Iowa gets it right back and finally ends that scoring streak for the Badgers. And you want to give credit for the Badgers to go on that run, but I don't think we're really surprised. It's like when the smart kid gets an A on a test, it's like, all right, congratulations, but we knew that was going to happen. But it's unfortunate for Iowa. They were that close.
Exactly. You come close to competing with it, and it's just you want it so badly. You are just a little bit off. But Iowa needs to do something different here in the next set if they are to lose this, or in the upcoming points as the Badgers slim the margin on closing in on the second set.
And the Badgers are 4 points away from closing out this second set. Iowa have already matched their total from the first set. Warden with the kill. And there's the answer.
Exactly, Aiden. That is what the Hawkeyes needed. They needed a little bit of momentum to move them in the right direction, and that Warden kill was just perfectly placed, perfectly done, and let's see if they can repeat it again to get another point.
The freshman, Jenna Meitzler, a bit long. And when Iowa gets a point like that off a big kill and you answer it with an error, it's very unfortunate. And now it's 22-16.
Yeah, Aiden, those errors have been absolutely killing the Hawkeyes tonight, and I mean, there's only so much you can do. You don't want to just give a team like the Badgers those points. I mean, they can earn them, but you want to make them earn from an entire amount.
Here is Charlie Furbringer. Garcia gets blocked, but it goes out.
And Garcia is back. She is ready to get her kills back in, and maybe again, like we said earlier, they'll revert to the dumping method, but that might be a little bit rogue. But Garcia, a freshman, like you said earlier, from Hawaii, has been playing such a large role so far this season, being pretty much the backbone of the Hawkeyes. What do you say, Aiden?
Yeah, I mean, she's been unbelievable. I'm just looking at the towel that she has tucked in her shorts there. It's a pretty rare thing. I've never seen it before, I'm not going to lie. It reminds me of Ovechkin, I guess, who has his jersey tucked in, but it's an interesting strategy.
I was wondering about that. I didn't know if it was something specific to her, but it's kind of reminding me that's not what the Hawkeyes needed right now, but that kind of reminds me of like something in football when you have like the towel hanging out, but yeah, I feel like that would bother someone, but not her.
Franklin. Hawkeyes trying to stay alive. Tight at the net. Into the net, and the Badgers take it. Anticlimactically, but they'll take it anyway.
That is not how the Hawkeyes wanted to finish off the second set, down by 8. They had the opportunity to get that one there, 8, and then just touched the net a little bit too soon, so that is the end of the second set. However, the Hawkeyes and the Badgers were pretty neck and neck up until that 15-point mark.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long run that the Badgers went on in that second set, but Iowa was right there, and we've seen this, I don't want to say brilliance, but this good play from Iowa in past games against really good teams. The last 3 games they played against ranked opponents, they've taken a set off of those teams. As we are set to begin set number 3, Charlie Furbringer to begin things here. And I mean, the numbers have been reflecting things. Still not up to 100 yet on hitting percentages. Iowa, where the Badgers, they're hitting at 319. Much better, obviously. Something Iowa needs to work on, especially with all their hitting errors.
Exactly. The hitting percentage for the Hawkeyes has now moved up to .071, which was a vast improvement from what we saw in the first set, Aiden, where they were in the negatives for a majority of the set.
And here's Franklin with a tight angle shot. It skips off the hands of Gallus and goes into the crowd. Badgers of the quick tying effort.
Overall, great game from Sarah Franklin so far. I mean, she's had 10 kills. She's on the line now. 5 different digs and a block.
And a big miscommunication there between Marquardt and Urquhart.
Aiden, the Hawkeyes just cannot be having that simple miscommunication add to the errors. There have been numerous errors from the Hawkeyes, and that just can't be happening. Again, we have seen 18 errors from the Hawkeyes compared to the Wisconsin's 4. So really, that's what's hurting them so far in this game.
Absolutely, it has. They have more of those errors than they do kills, and in that second set, I should say, and a blocking error there from Iowa to give the Badgers a 3-1 lead. They've got to clean things up, and there's a good place to start.
Exactly, Aiden. I mean, what do you think the Hawkeyes need to do different to try and grasp this set? We talked about earlier that if you're down 2 sets to a team like Wisconsin, it is nearly impossible to try and get that third set. But with Garcia serving behind the line, what can be done from the Hawkeyes to get on the board and try and get a few more points this set?
I mean, you got to keep it close. They're not going to run away with a set against a team like Wisconsin, but you got to keep it close. They did well to do that in the second set. There's a big block there by CeCe Crawford, gives the Badgers the ball back and a 4-2 lead, but it was 14-14. I know we said it a bunch, but we're going to keep saying it because it was that close in that second set, and then the Badgers ran away with it. You just need to stay close until you get to around the 20-point mark, and then you play those little games to 5. Crawford to serve for the Badgers after getting that block. Garcia from the back row gets the kill. Garcia on a heater.
And that's the Garcia that Iowa knows and loves. Big excitement from the Hawkeye fan section there. That was perfectly down the middle, and the Badgers just, if Garcia is given the middle, she is going to take advantage of it. She's been trying to get them in not the safest places, but when you give her the middle, she's going to execute.
Here is Smrek. Off the hands of Franklin, and it's another kill there for Hannah Whittingstall. And Whittingstall, another kill tonight. She has been one of the better players for Iowa. She has been immense at the middle of the net for the Hawkeyes, not just tonight, but all season.
Yeah, Aiden, she's had 6 kills alone tonight, along with 3 digs and 4 blocks, so she has been helping out this Iowa team in addition to Garcia, who we've mentioned a lot, but Whittingstall is not necessarily getting this praise that she deserves. She's been helping out this Iowa team a lot when Garcia hasn't been able to capitalize on those points. Yeah,
and she got some hands on the block there, but the block solo goes to Alyssa Warden there.
And the Hawkeyes take their first lead of the night, Aiden. It is 5-4 in the third set.
Got to keep it up here. But Smrek has some words and ties it right back up for the Badgers.
Yeah, our 6'9" Anna Smrek, I mean, she is a hard person to block that kill from. She's had 9 kills just so far tonight and 5 different blocks. When you are 6'9", you are just such a powerhouse. I mean, I've seen her in the grocery store a few times, and just looks a little bit funny. I'm sure you can imagine me standing next to her, as I don't have as much height as she does to her. But, yeah, she has been a great player, and not only defensively, she's able to move her body really well and keep up that footwork along with her height.
Yeah, tallest player in the Big Ten, as there's a dump from Charlie Furbringer to give the Badgers the lead again. And yeah, I don't know how you deal with that. And Carter Booth, who's 6'7", just a little bit shorter than Anna Smrek, not playing tonight, which is obviously good for Iowa. And yeah, Anna Smrek is a tough one to block against. Her dad, Mike, used to play for the Lakers in the NBA, won an NBA championship with them. Warden gets another kill. Big answer there from Iowa, and we talked about it. They got to keep it close. They're answering back. It's 6-6 now.
And they are doing that, Aiden. I mean, to have this opportunity, they absolutely need to execute and maybe try and get up by 2 to add a little bit of insurance with that, but they can't afford to go down again, especially by a few points.
That one goes long. There was a touch. Badgers regain the lead, and they're just going back and forth. It was Devin Robinson that got the kill. And now brings up Yulia Orzel, one of the most versatile players the Badgers have. Top 5 in kills, digs, blocks, service, aces. And another kill there by Alyssa Warden, her second straight for Iowa. Picks out the corner. She was facing angle and went line at the last second and got it down.
Yeah, you got to give credit when credit is due, Aiden. The Hawkeyes have done a really good job of faking out the Badgers on numerous occasions with that snake eye type energy and kind of tricking them in regards to where they're going to go.
Franklin with an answer, and again the Badgers take it back. 8-7 now, and we wonder how long this will go on for.
Exactly. It's almost as if a little game of tag. Tag, you're above, and back and forth so far, but I don't think either team wants to continue the tag. I think they want to get up by numerous and keep that going.
Lola Schumacher, the freshman. And here's Warden again. Her third consecutive kill for the Hawkeyes, and now she'll go to the line to serve, and it's 8-8. Go ahead, Kate.
The field house is looking not as lively as it did in the second set. You look around, and it's a little bit close for people's liking if you are a Badger fan.
Sarah Franklin Gets another kill. So it was Warden, Franklin, Warden, and now Franklin again.
And the field house has been brought back to life. Everyone is a Sarah Franklin fan if you are a Badger fan, and she's just been on fire tonight like we mentioned prior, but great kill from her to get them the 9-8 lead.
Not that I'm superstitious, but Warden is now off the floor, so we'll have to find somebody else, Iowa. And here's Furbringer to serve. Kept up. Anna Smrek. Nice dig there. And Garcia just tried to set it over, but met the hands of Franklin, and the Badgers take a 2-point lead.
Exactly. When you're trying to do it over Sarah Franklin, I mean, she does have some height. Being 6'4", you gotta ensure that it's enough height to get over those hands. But now there is that insurance lead for the Badgers, up by 2.
Especially if you're going to set it over, you got to get it up. Slammed over by Garcia. Smrek sends one over to Franklin, who gets blocked. We don't see that often from Anna Smrek. And Franklin off the block gets another kill, and the Badgers lead 11-8.
And now they are on the 3-point run, Aiden. And this will be a timeout for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Definitely not what the Hawkeyes needed at this point.
And an ace there from Furbringer right out of the timeout. And the Badgers extend their lead, and timeout didn't prove to work for Iowa, unfortunately for them.
No, and they are looking for something to improve, Aiden. You see some lineup switches and all of that throughout the entirety of all 3 sets, but the Badgers just seem to prevail.
Getting help from the net. Garcia gets blocked, and trying to keep this run alive for the Badgers. They now have 6 aces in this match. Hawkeyes just have 1. And Furbringer has a couple of those. 6 for Wisconsin. Long rally for the Badgers. It's going to be tight for Smrek, who sends it over. Kept alive by Warden. Urquhart goes long. No touch.
Aiden, it is fun to see Kelly Sheffield have a reaction. You saw the ball go wide, and you saw his arm shoot up and do a little exciting dance, which is always fun to see a coach partake in the sideline little celebration.
Yeah, and Kelly Sheffield, who just passed Pete Waite's record. He's now the winningest coach in Wisconsin history, and we may get a challenge here. And I was looking at Kelly Sheffield when that challenge was called, and it looks like he drooped down to his knees for a little bit, so he's got some of that animation. But
House with that being an outside hitter.
Yeah, and including tonight, she now has double-digit kills in 20 of 22 games this season. And she gets a dig there to keep it alive for Wisconsin. The roll shot from Orjo gets the kill. And not happy was Joy Gallus, who was screaming at her teammate.
Yeah, there is a lot going on here. A lot to be frustrated about if you're an Iowa player. I mean, there has been numerous times of lack of communication, and you just can't give those points away.
And there it is again, a reach over called against Iowa. Another error at the net. This time one defensively. And Sarah Franklin gets to serve again. 16-9 lead for Wisconsin. That's much better. Getting blocked but going out. And Iowa get the point. Garcia with another kill.
Exactly. If you can't quite see who it is, you can tell it's Garcia with the towel. But yes, what a kill from her. Just the block going a little bit out into the red, and she'll be behind the line serving again.
Tries the floater. Tight at the net. Big response. C.C. Crawford. 17-10 lead for Wisconsin.
Yeah, Aiden, that floater seemed to work the first few times, but the previous few times it has happened, it has been unsuccessful, with the Badgers responding pretty harshly and coming away with the point almost all of the times the floater has been used in the last 2 sets.
Nice serve, but a great dig there by Warden. Garcia in the back row. It looked in to me. They're giving Wisconsin the point. And I think Garcia thought it was in as well, but No challenge there for Iowa.
And the Hawkeyes now trail by 8, looking for some ways to put themselves on the board.
Gets blocked again. Robinson and Smrek team up. 19-10. And another timeout called by Jim Barnes' Iowa. They are now down by 9.
Yeah, Aiden, I was going to say a timeout seemed like it was coming up. I thought
CC Crawford set to serve for Wisconsin. 19-10 lead here in the third set. The Badgers looking to close things out so they can get home and rest for tomorrow against Penn State. That'll be a 2:30 game, and you can watch it on NBC. Here is Crawford. Garcia into the back. And a Smrek with the kill. And the Badgers need 5.
And it is getting close, Aiden. I'm wondering if we will see Iowa put in number 4, Claire Amaral from Madison. She is a Wisconsin native. Lots of family and friends in the crowd tonight. I'm sure grew up being a Badger fan, but is now a Hawkeye, but has yet to see the court. But that would be fun to see her play on her home court, for sure.
Yeah, a couple of Wisconsin natives on this Iowa team. Emily Lavin as well from Brookfield, not too far from here. I don't know what you'd consider far. As that one goes into the net and off the block, Iowa get the point. I don't want to start talking about my Wisconsin geography knowledge at all because I have almost 0, but
me
it's not
either.
too far.
I was going to say maybe I would have mine would be a little bit more advanced than yours from being from the Midwest, but I don't think that gives me much of an edge. We were trying to talk about it earlier with all the Stoughton natives that we are friends with on the team, or not on the Wisconsin team, but on our broadcast team.
And there's one Iowa native as well on the Wisconsin team, Devin Robinson. We've definitely seen her a lot. There's another kill for the Badgers. It is now 21-11.
All right, Aiden. The Badgers need 4. The Hawkeyes looking to prevail. It will be very difficult for them to come back and try and get this set, being down by 10 and down 2 sets.
Sage Damrow. Pushing that out to Warden, and touching that one was Robinson. And I can tell you it's a libero's nightmare when a ball's coming to you and one of the hitters at the front reaches an arm back to try and get it. Just a small mental mistake there from Devin Robinson.
Exactly, Aiden. I would pay to see you be a libero and have that same reaction.
You don't want to see that. Tight one at the net. Furbringer wins the duel, 22-12.
And they need 3, Aiden. The Badgers are so close to sweeping the Hawkeyes and getting to go home and rest for their Penn State game. But the Hawkeyes also have another game this weekend at home against Northwestern.
That's going to be a tough one. Hard hitters there. Kennedy Hill being one of them, Lily Wagner the other. Badgers had to face that team twice this season. See if the Hawkeyes can break their losing streak if they lose tonight. Up in the air, Warden. Robinson gets the kill, 23-12 now.
Man, it was coming straight at Garcia's head, and for some reason there, maybe she thought it was going out, but kind of in some way went for the ball, but in another kind of ducked her head from what it seemed like from up here.
And now Yulia Orzel, Badgers 2 away. Warden off the block, gets the kill. Another one for Alyssa Warden.
And again, it is back to a 10-point game, Aiden.
6th kill tonight for Warden, who didn't play nearly at all in the first set.
Yeah, the kills have been pretty similar, Aiden. I mean, the Badgers up by 6 kills, 41-35 throughout the entirety of this matchup tonight. But again, Badgers looking for that, and now they are so close to bringing it back. The Fieldhouse is on their feet, and the Badgers just need 1 to end the game and go home for the night.
Match point here for Wisconsin. Freshman Lola Schumacher, the libero, to try and end things here. Here's Schumacher. Garcia kept alive. Sent back over. Warden gets blocked. Game over. Badgers win.
And an excited volleyball